In this video, we're going to talk a little bit more about balancing life with moot court. And we talked in a previous video with some of the other moot court board members about doing things like law journal and working outside of school and being able to fit moot court into that schedule as well. In this one, I want to start with something that you might see is a little bit obvious. She has brought, is it him? Yeah, she's brought him into the picture with us. Megan is going to talk a little bit about how you do moot court when you have family obligations.
Yeah, so it's absolutely doable. There are some challenges, but law school in itself is challenging. And one thing that I've loved most about Moot Court are my fellow members. They truly do become like family. There have been times whenever I've struggled with finding childcare, and I've had some fellow board members step up and volunteer to watch my child at no cost or anything, just to help out. And so really it's just like any other law school class. As long as you schedule in the appropriate time, it's a very rewarding experience, and you can still have that valuable time that you can spend with your family.
Sara, I know you are also married, and did you find that you had the ability to sort of balance the things you needed to do for your relationship with school? I also worked and then also did moot court, and you were an officer on the board too.
Yes, I mean, it can definitely have its challenges, but just like Megan said, with anything in law school, it's challenging. It's something that you commit to and you have to plan for, but it's absolutely doable. You know, I am married and I have worked the entire time I've been in school, and I also commute an hour every day to class. So it definitely had its challenges, but as long as you plan and you schedule things and you stay organized, then you can definitely stay on top of things. I also had to communicate really well with my bosses to make sure that they were aware of things that I had going on and obligations that I had for moot court, so that we could just plan my schedule accordingly. And they were more than willing, because they know that school and they know how important moot court is with your law school experience and how much of a benefit that is, that they were always more than willing to accommodate that. So as long as you communicate that to them and you stay organized, it's absolutely doable.
Yeah, so related to that, Dory, I know that Dory, you had to negotiate with your employer a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah, we had just lost, I worked at a winery in Carbondale, and we had just lost a bunch of employees, so there was only 3 of us working there at the time. So it was a little difficult to try to get time off to be able to practice. But as long as you talk to your coaches and talk to the boss, make sure that everyone kind of knows where you stand and what your obligations are, it's not bad, and it's definitely doable. I come home to St. Louis all the time to see my family, and I still make it work. And I don't have a kid and I'm not married, but I think that having family obligations and work obligations, you can still definitely do moot court and have time for it all.
I talked about how Sara and Logan are officers of the board, and so I want to have an opportunity for them to talk about that a little bit more, to sort of explain what that is and what they did and why they wanted to run for one of the officer positions. So Sara is the outgoing Chief Justice and Logan is the incoming Chief Justice. So Sara, what is a Chief Justice of a moot court board?
So Chief Justice, as the Chief Justice, you have to help run the National Health Law competition every fall, as well as the intramural competition. And you work a lot with the AAA students to keep track of their partnerships, as I mentioned, and really just help them along their way through the intramural competition and the brief writing component of their class. And then you also have to manage the board. So you have to make sure that everybody fulfills their obligations as well. So on the Moot Court Board, everybody has to get a certain amount of administrative hours in order to get their class credit. And so part of that is done through working at the intramural competition and at the health law competition. So really you have to help prepare for those competitions, help carry out the task of those competitions, but also plan for what tasks everyone else needs to carry out to make sure that the competitions run like a well-oiled machine and just keep it going. And it's really doable as long as you can stay organized to be able to carry everything out.
Yeah, Logan, do you want to come in too? What made you interested in being the Chief Justice?
Well, I like a good challenge, and we all had, because our board this year is a little bit smaller than the outgoing 3L class was, we all played a very integral role in the health law competition in the fall, and I have a really, I have a pretty big past experience of running events and things of that nature, and I love doing it. So I thought that I could do it again, and went out for it and got the position. But it is a challenge, like Sara said, and it's no small amount of work. And I've technically only been on the job for a week and a half or 2 weeks now. But I mean, there have been things that I've done this week already, emails every day out to people. So it's no small feat, but it's very doable. It's rewarding as well.
Yeah. Sometimes described as trying to herd cats, but for the most part, I think that we have great people on the Moot Court Board. We emphasize collegiality, something that is in one of those essential lawyering skills that the American Bar Association talks about, is the ability to collaborate. And I think that's the main thing that we do on the Moot Court Board. But we need leadership, and I think Sara's done an excellent job as a leader. And I don't know about Logan, but he might get there. No, Logan's done a good job too, so far.
I would also like to add that I think it really helps prepare you for practice as well, because in any practice that you do, you're going to have a certain amount of leadership skills and communication skills and organizational skills. And being Chief Justice, or really any officer position, it really strengthens those skills. So I really think that it's helped enhance those things for me to carry on into practice once I graduate.
Good point. Okay, well, so there you go. Think about joining Moot Court. You can balance your family obligations, you can balance your work obligations, you can balance your relationship obligations, and think about becoming an officer. We need some good, strong leaders to also participate in the program, and it's an opportunity to show that kind of leadership, because as Sara said, it's something that employers are looking for that kind of skill set. So it's a good thing to think about doing.